Listen to those critics, though, huh? You think I'm as thick as two party apparatchiks? I speak Russian, I speak French, I speak Spanish, I even speak a little English. I can read Polish. What do they tell you? I'm average, they say. I'm average, frowsy, and freckled, all but illiterate. They'll tell you I knew nothing about art, nothing about music, nothing about literature. Is that so? Nice day, nice beach, nice breeze. Don't you think? Think I'll sit here. Well, Paolo, you can see that I'm here. I want to talk to your father. I am going to talk to your father. I have something of the highest importance to tell him. Why is he turning his back on me? That's not very nice of him, is it, Paolo? Typical! Picasso. Piss artist. I have to speak with you about your son. Getting old, are we, Pablo? Gone deaf, have we, Pablo? Gone back to baby snatching, have we, Pablo? Françoise, how delightful to see you. A nice little baby Claude. Isn't it nice to know that at his age Pablo managed to get it up at least once? You're sure it's yours, Pablo? I don't know how we can go on pretending that I am not here, Paolo. Your father never could face up to anything unpleasant. For God's sake, tell your father that I must talk to him. It's very urgent. Pablo, my sweet. My little dove, my little fat friend. You're combing your hair over your bald patch, Pablo. I could put a cockroach in between the gaps. Papa, help me, Papa! So the P word makes him his chauffeur, his dog's body. Paolo loved cars. When he was 14, he had posters of racing drivers on the wall, and he'd crouch on the floor going vroom vroom with his toy cars. Once, when I was dying, he went to a corrida with Pablo, Cocteau and Prévert, the Picasso gang. They were all there. So Paolo turns up with a friend, Pierre Boudouin. Nice boy. From back to front, they had shaved exactly one half of their heads, and they were dressed in women's clothes. Pablo. He contrived not to notice. Pablo always had to be the center of attention. And his cronies, the art dealers, the critics, the writers, the journalists, all basking in the glow of his fame, or competing for one of his smiles, or crawling for one of his brushstrokes, all of them fluttering, bending over, simpering like adult children, sponging for a gift, treating every word as if it came from Tolstoy or Pushkin. Poor Paolo. We were married on the 12th of July, 1918, in the Cathedral of Saint Alexander Nevsky in Paris. The tapers glittered and gleamed. The walls were thick with flowers. The incense shimmered on the sugared air. The choir was singing, taking turns. Cocteau, Max Jacob and Apollinaire held golden crowns over our heads as we circled the altar 3 times. Our marriages, our children of this war and triumphant, wrote Apollinaire. But he was wrong. We left for Biarritz, and Mochaja Barocca Byzantine palaces, of piney woods near the lakes, and of me, Mochazi, the villa of Madame Eugenia Erasmus, who had invited us to stay. Pablo was most attentive, sportif, and our bedroom walls, in between the tumble of tangled limbs, with only a ballet tutu between us, were ripening with the rosy visions of nude girls who were playing, swimming, and dancing. It was long before I realized he had slid between her legs, maybe even in our bed. And who knows? Maybe even on our honeymoon. I left home, left the steppes and the silver birch forests. I wanted to devote myself to dancing. I had started too late. I knew. Papa knew. But I needed to prove myself. And I did. I joined the dragon, Diagle, Chinchilla, because he had a white locker, Mrs. Dark, dyed hair. Oh, I worked. Cote Ballet, Monte Carlo, Roma, Paris, South America. I watched Pavlova and Karsavina and learned. I worked and danced with Nijinsky on l'après-midi d'une faune in a long pleated tunic, a white muslin stenciled in stripes and leaves of rust red, with Mimi Humbert, who helped us to analyze our roles. We worked on the Rite of Spring with its strange music that didn't keep to the beat. I was working on Las Meninas, was one of the 4 featured roles in Les Femmes de Bonheur. I sweated every day, 9 o'clock in white tutu and pink silk ties for Maestro Dicetti's class, then changed to a crepe de chine dress for rehearsal with the regisseur Serge Gregoriev. I sweated. Perhaps Diaghilev himself and friends would come in. I sweated. I made myself. I was a featured ballerina in Diaghilev's company. I had admirers across the world. If I wanted men, I could have men. Men of proper social standing. Men with a title and a bank balance. But all I wanted was the ballet. Until he came. I was dying. Was it worth it? Ha ha ha. Pablo had just had a hernia operation, then a lung embolism. The surgeon sent a telegram to Pablo urging him to visit. He didn't. I was partially paralyzed. Cancer diagnosed. I wondered if he'd visit. He didn't. January. Paolo was still in hospital in Paris. In Cannes, I lay in my hospital bed. White walls, just like the first house that I decorated for you, Pablo. Clean, tidy, organized. I took a turn for the worse. I wanted to be buried in the Russian Orthodox Church in Cannes. They buried me at Valerie. There were 3 people at the funeral. Pablo didn't come. Поехать спокойней ночи. But don't worry, Pablo. Up here, you can't escape. I'll find you, you little pipsqueak bastards. I'll find you. If I have to brave the gates of hell itself, I'll find you. And I'll watch you, roasting slowly, tormented by naked nubile angels, unable to get it up, Pablo. A failure for all eternity, Pablo. A piss artist that can't paint, Pablo. A waste of space. Woo!